Hey, thank you for reaching out. This is my first YouTube video. I'm just gonna start off by saying I know I'm gonna come off super crazy. And that's leads into the topic of this video, which is societal game versus the reality game. And when it comes to these two, you know, it's an ongoing thing. If you're watching this video, you probably came here because you're pretty much sick of this societal game, which is just the same thing you've been taught when you were born. It's like a caste system, class system. It's like from grade school all the way to college, and it just repeats itself, and it repeats itself over and over and over again. And they try to make it new, like, oh, the next thing is this, the next thing is that, and you just like, nah, man, like I don't. A part of you is like, I really don't want that, but it's being marketed or branded to me that I should have these things, and it's just nah. That's why you're probably here. And then what the reality of it is called the reality game. And I call it games because you in both ways of living, there's experiences you gain. More the societal game is more physical things that you manifest more rapidly, and then the other one is a spiritual game, the reality game, where things manifest but not in the way you would like it without having experience. The more experience you have in the reality game, the easier it is to manifest certain things into your life. So I want to start there. I had I had no option in my decision. I had to go to the reality game. It's just what things happened to my life. I got thrown into the reality game, which now I'm grateful for, especially with the current times and everything going on. This is a great time for me to start teaching others the ways of the reality game and not so much focusing on the societal game. I mean, still do your societal duties, but don't let those duties make you like, don't let those duties make your spirit suppressed. You don't want to suppress your spirit. You want to always have your spirit in a harmonious state, not a disharmonious state. So I have some notes here that I'm going to reference back and forth. But honestly, I'm just going to freestyle it. So, but I first want to start off with is the societal game is ran by children. And by children, I mean these people, they're not creating anything. They're just looking what's there and using it to the max. That's the best way I can put it. And then the reality game is ran by spirits who serve the supreme, the most high, the source god, whatever you want to call it. But the source of everything, that's where they get their knowledge from. That's where I get my knowledge from now. I wish I could explain it where it manifests into financial riches and stuff, which sometimes it does, but a lot of times it just gets your experience up to the point where a certain situation approaches and you already been in it so much, that situation doesn't suppress your spirit. Your spirit is already foreseeing this and you're ready ahead of time. So that's a societal game, the societal versus reality game. The other thing is that the societal game is like, it's finite to one life. And what I mean by that is the societal game, once you're dead, that's it. There's no promise of, there's nothing outside of that. You can't, when you're reborn, I believe in reincarnation. Once you're reborn and reincarnated because you bought into this system of death cycle, you're just gonna start back from zero. Okay, and then the reality game is finite to multiple lives. So what I do in this lifetime, if I choose to come back into this reincarnated system, which I'm honestly opting out. Like this is it. I'm done after this because this system is trash. Like there's other systems out there that are way better that I actually experienced, and I'm going there after this. It's more real. And yeah, that's the reality game. It's like the reality game. Your spirit is what matters, not your physical appearance. And for me, my spirit and my physical appearance look exactly the same. Meaning, yeah, I'm pretty much true. I'm true to who I am, and I don't budge off of that. The only difference between here and then the reality game It's that I couldn't manifest my full spirit in here because it would be too large. Like the body would be too big. So I had to retard my spirit so I could be in this 3D reality. And I'll get into more of that in a later video, but that's how I exist in this world. So when things don't go accordingly, I just remember, yeah, I remember retarding my spirit to this point. So, and I mean it for the definition. I don't mean as far as mental capacity, nothing like that. I don't mean any ill will in anything I say on this channel. It's all coming from a spiritual knowledge base, which I will feel free to share with people who are interested. Just, I'll put my email in the link, or some way you can reach out to me. Just put in the comments and I'll reach out to you and give you some spiritual references. But anything I say on this channel is pure intentions. There's nothing to make fun of or to separate. I'm here to bring people together, bring people that are in current struggles mentally to come together and manifest a positive reality for themselves that doesn't harm others around them. And I'm all about sovereignty. Like sovereignty, I'll get into that in another video, but sovereignty is where we should be striving as a collective or as individuals to strive towards sovereignty. And sovereignty doesn't just mean, oh, bunch of money. Like, no, it means a lot more than that. It means a holistic life that you can manage yourself. So, and there's numerous scales of it. So I'll get into that in another video. But back to the societal game versus reality game. The societal game breaks the spirit to conform, whereas the reality game breaks the chains off of the spirit that society puts on it to allow that spirit to have this unique experiences. Sort of like what I was talking about, where I had a life-threatening moment where I was in a coma for a while. And while I was in that coma, I was able to understand there's life beyond this. And in that space I was in, that's where I learned how to really move and feel and be in my spirit body. And that's why I learned about spiritual practices, that they're very real, but a lot of those real spirits have a really hard time in this society. And I'll go to the next part where the societal game promotes group thinking. So like I was saying before, conformity. So you're in group thinking. I mean, that could be something as simple as Xbox versus PS4, or it could be as polarized as which this is a binary system, black, white type thinking, ones and zeros, anything that polarizes anything. That is group thinking. Whereas reality game demands individual experiences. So your individual experiences matter more than what somebody says or what a book read. If you didn't go through it, it holds no weight in the spiritual societal hierarchy. Which goes into my next thing of the hierarchy in the spiritual realm versus the hierarchy in the physical 3D realm are very similar, but the spiritual realm is where everything comes from, and then it manifests itself downwards. So, and there's, in a better sense, there's a universal police system, a universal police. And it's sort of funny because there's a lot of pop culture references to like the universal police, but it's very true. There are universal police, and they see everything. It's like the Akashic register, or Akashic, but you know what I mean. There's a record of everything, every action that everybody's ever done. And so when people try to lie to somebody or lie to a group of people, that's fine and dandy, but there's records of what you do, and what you do, there is a cost for everything you do. So nothing happens there's no such thing as coincidence. It's all causation, cause and effect. Cause you did this, the effect is this. And it might not come from the direct person that happened. Like, say you lied about, I don't know, you lie to somebody in whatever way, and then that lie gets recorded, and then years down the line, then something happens that has nothing to do with that initial lie, but because you lied, you allowed a negative karma to take place in your life. And that's why I practice truthfulness as much as possible. And I don't think I ever purposely lied to anybody. Yeah, so that's just the way it is for me. Other people might have different philosophies, but the one thing I do want to bring into a closing of all of this is that even though everything's recorded, it doesn't matter what you do. It does not make you a bad person. Everybody's good at heart. It's just what happens throughout life makes you seem like, oh, the decision I made makes me a bad person. That is not true. You're a good person. There's been many people throughout history that have done horrible things, but they have also seeked forgiveness of some sort from whatever God they want to believe in or whatever philosophy they want to believe in. But at the end of the day, as long as you come back to wanting to become good again or become yourself in a spirit individual again, that is when you can start living life again. And that's the ultimate thing. The only change you have are the change you put on yourself. Doesn't matter if you're incarcerated or you're a CEO of a mega company or you're just a person chilling at home. Like, you are all good people, and that's not said enough. And we try to demonize people for past actions versus what's happening currently right now. And right now, everybody has a decision to be good, and that's all that matters. And that's why I want you to take home today or meditate on it. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible.